It was a crisp autumn morning, the kind where the air feels fresh and the world seems quiet, like it's holding its breath. The sun was just starting to rise, casting a golden glow over the neighborhood. I was walking to the park, just like I did every Saturday. It was my little ritual, my way of starting the weekend right. The leaves crunched under my feet, and I could see my breath in the air, little puffs of steam disappearing into the cool morning. I was lost in thought, thinking about the book I was reading, a mystery novel that had me hooked, and the coffee I'd treat myself to later. It was supposed to be a peaceful day, the kind where nothing goes wrong. But then, everything changed. I heard the siren first, sharp and sudden, like a knife cutting through the calm. My heart jumped into my throat. I turned around and saw a police car pulling up beside me, its lights flashing. The officer stepped out, his face stern, his hand resting on his belt like he was ready for something. I froze. I didn't know what I'd done wrong. I wasn't speeding, I wasn't jaywalking, I was just walking. But there he was, towering over me, his voice cold and clipped. "Ma'am, I need to see your ID," he said. I fumbled for my bag, my hands shaking so badly I could barely unzip it. "Did I do something wrong, officer?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady, but it came out thin and weak. He didn't answer. He just took my ID and walked back to his car, leaving me standing there on the sidewalk. My chest tightened, and I felt like the world was closing in around me. I wanted to cry, but I held it in, biting the inside of my cheek. I kept telling myself, "It's fine. It's just a misunderstanding. This will be over soon." But the minutes dragged on, each one heavier than the last. I looked around, hoping someone would stop and ask if I was okay, but no one did. They just walked by, avoiding eye contact, like I was invisible. A man in a suit glanced at me, then quickly looked away. A woman pushing a stroller crossed the street like she didn't want to get too close. I felt small, like I didn't matter, like I was just a problem to be dealt with. I thought about my family, my mom, who always told me to be careful, to keep my head down, to not give anyone a reason to look at me twice. "The world isn't always fair," she'd say, her voice heavy with worry. My little brother, who looked up to me, who thought I was strong. What would they think if they saw me like this? I felt a lump rise in my throat, and I swallowed it down. I couldn't fall apart. Not here. Not now. Finally, the officer came back. "You match the description of a suspect we're looking for," he said, his tone flat like he was reading off a script. "A suspect?" I repeated, my voice cracking. "For what?" He didn't answer that either. Instead, he told me to stay put while he called it in. I felt like I couldn't breathe. My mind raced. A suspect? Me? I tried to think of what I'd done that could possibly make me a suspect. I hadn't done anything wrong. I was just walking. But it didn't seem to matter. Then something unexpected happened. Another officer arrived, a woman. She approached me with a kind smile, her eyes soft and concerned. "Hi, I'm Officer Martinez," she said. "Can you tell me what's going on?" Her voice was warm, and for the first time since this nightmare started, I felt like someone actually saw me as a person, not just a problem to be dealt with. I explained everything, my voice trembling, my words tumbling out in a rush. She listened, really listened, and then she turned to the first officer. "This isn't her," she said firmly. "Let her go." Just like that, it was over. The first officer handed me back my ID without a word and walked away, like none of it had even happened. Officer Martinez stayed with me for a moment. "I'm sorry that happened to you," she said. "Are you okay?" I nodded, but I wasn't okay. Not really. I felt a mix of relief and anger, sadness and fear, all swirling inside me like a storm. I thanked her and walked away, my legs still shaky, my heart still pounding. I didn't go to the park that day. I went home and sat on my couch, staring at the wall, trying to make sense of what had just happened. That day stayed with me. It wasn't just about being stopped. It was about feeling like I didn't belong, like I was guilty just for existing. It was about the way people looked away, like they didn't want to see what was happening. It was about the first officer's coldness, the way he treated me like I was nothing. But it also showed me that there are people out there who care, who will stand up for what's right. Officer Martinez didn't have to help me, but she did. And that gave me a little hope. Life isn't fair, and sometimes it's downright hard. But even in the darkest moments, there's a flicker of light. You just have to hold on to it. And that's what I did. I held on. I thought about my mom's words, about how the world isn't always fair, but that doesn't mean we stop fighting. I thought about my little brother, who looks up to me, who thinks I'm strong. And I realized that I am strong. Strong enough to keep going, even when it feels like the world is against me. That day changed me. It made me more aware of the injustices in the world, but it also made me more determined to fight against them. I started volunteering at a local organization that helps people who've been wrongfully accused. I started speaking out, sharing my story, hoping that it might make a difference for someone else. Because no one should have to go through what I went through. No one should feel like they don't matter. So I keep going. I keep walking, even when the path is hard. And I hold on to that flicker of light, that little bit of hope, because it's what keeps me moving forward. And maybe, just maybe, it's what will help change the world. One step.
Hey everyone, if this story moved you, if it made you think, or if it reminded you why we need to keep having these conversations, please take a moment to like this video. It really helps spread awareness. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so drop a comment below. Have you ever witnessed or experienced something like this? Let's talk about it. And if you believe stories like this deserve to be told, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We're here to share real, powerful stories that need to be heard. Lastly, share this with your friends and family. The more people who see this, the more we can bring awareness and change. Thank you for watching and being part of this journey. Let's keep pushing forward, together.